Okay, everybody, hope you're having a great Friday. I'm Pete Mulroy. Welcome to the latest edition of Notre Dame Daily, brought to you by Fan Arch. We've got game night, opening night, tomorrow night, South Bend, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, top 20 matchup. The teams opened their respective campaigns a year ago with Notre Dame going on the road, winning a 10-point contest in College Station. Now the Aggies, year two, Mike Elko, come to the Dome. And the term urgency has been tossed around a lot the past 2 weeks as the Irish look to rebound from that season-opening loss to Miami when they host the Aggies this Saturday in South Bend. And while there were many areas that the Irish, shall we say, were underwhelming in, there was still a lot to like. A solid offensive fourth quarter in which they moved the ball effectively en route to posting 17 points and tying the game at 24 before a final drive to win the game potentially came up short. C.J. Carr looked strong in his debut performance under center. Tight end Eli Rarinan, minus a couple of drops, of course, looked like a legitimate playmaker. Jalen Stroman played well in the secondary in his first experience as a Golden Domer. And the defense looked like the unit we've grown accustomed to once they played with more urgency and aggression, which started about midway through the third quarter. Yes, late, but better late than never. You saw a clear difference, forcing the 3-and-outs, getting into the backfield when they played with that urgency and aggression. These areas are where the Irish can continue to build their confidence ahead of what is a major opener against Texas A&M, leaning on the areas of strength. And the guys like Drake Bowen, Leonard Moore, Boubacar Traore, Christian Gray, Stroman, J-Love, Price, Jaden Greathouse, more on him in a moment, and others, is going to go a long way in getting this team playing with confidence and swag once again. We started to see it in the second half of the opener. If they're able to establish a rhythm and aggressive style quickly on both sides of the ball Saturday night, we should see that Notre Dame confidence start to guide this team on a consistent basis. That's a scary proposition for any opponent, including Texas A&M. And you talk about who the Irish have under center. 19 of 30, 221 yards passing, 2 passing scores, 1 interception, 11 carries, and a rushing touchdown. That was the opening day line for first-time starter C.J. Carr. So you talk about confidence and playing with confidence. We saw this kid growing in the moment, albeit in a loss, August 31st. But when you break down those numbers even further, Carr played his best football when the Irish needed it most. 11 of 18 passes completed in the second half for a $167 and a score. His rushing touchdown also came in the fourth quarter, a 7-yard scamper, which tied the game at 24 with 3:21 left. Simply put, C.J. Carr absolutely showed that he belongs on the big stage, and he's got the keys to the car. No pun intended. Now set to make his home debut in front of what's going to be a raucous crowd that last saw this beloved Irish team when they upended Indiana in last season's CFP. Carr has the opportunity to get the Irish back in the win column while bringing that swag and that confidence back. It's big. Support from the offensive line is obviously going to help. Increased touches out of the backfield for both Love and Price, as I touched on yesterday, will also provide that added support for the new Irish signal caller. We know that. It also goes without saying that once Mike Denbrock opened up the playbook, granted it coincided with the Irish being in a hole, right? That Carr was at his best. He's capable of leading the charge, moving the ball down the field with efficiency, taking the big shots, and putting points on the board. I was saying it before the season started, and many of you were interacting with me and agreed. Notre Dame hasn't had a quarterback capable of pushing the ball down the field on a consistent, effective basis since Jimmy Clausen. The problem with Clausen was he had crap defenses. C.J. Carr doesn't have that. This is a good football team. Give him the chance to do it. Give him the consistent opportunities to do it. He will rack up yards. He will put points on the board. Let him do it. If you give him the ability to open it up, good things are absolutely going to happen. And a big part of that, and another way to help Carr excel, is by getting his best and top wideout, Jaden Greathouse, consistently involved. The junior ran over 20 routes in the loss to Miami, but was targeted twice. You've heard me say this a few times since August 31st. That's got to change. This is a kid who really showed how dangerous he could be during last season's CFP run. While he collected 26 balls for 345 yards and a score during the regular season, he shined in the playoffs. He was Riley Leonard's go-to guy on the big stage. Racked up 105 and a score on 7 balls caught in the national semifinal win over Penn State, and another $128 on 6 catches and 2 touchdowns in the national title game lost to Ohio State. Kid's got an incredible ability to find himself open and then even more impressively create after the catch. Combine his skills with those of Jordan Faison and the vertical ability of Malachi Fields, and the Irish absolutely have something working on the outside. Malachi Fields is going to have a height advantage going up against a lot of corners he's going to see this season. You got to utilize him. Now, you can't be turning the football over and have that fumble like he did, but when you take those 3 guys, you've got something absolutely dangerous on the outside here. But keeping Jaden Greathouse, getting him involved, keeping him involved, is a must. There's just no other way to put it, because it'll bring the best out of those other guys as well, especially with someone like CJ Carr throwing them the football. I expect to see more targets thrown Greathouse's way this weekend. I don't really think there's 2 ways about it. And Irish fans, including myself, are going to be reminded just how lethal Jaden Greathouse can be when the football is in his hands. The game could very well come down to, as it tends to in these big primetime matchups, the battle at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a big teller of where this game is going. While the Irish offensive line must be better, blocking responsibility Saturday night for Irish tight ends and running backs is also going to be top of mind. This is a Texas A&M defense that will rush 7 with the 0 blitz. They're going to do it. And that is precisely when you need, as an offense, your backs to provide ample support and protection for the quarterback, in addition to what's already being supplied by your front 5. It's common sense. Now, backs like Love and Price are going to be more athletic and nimbler than A&M linebackers Torian York, Scooby Williams, and edge rusher Cassius Howell, as good as those guys are. I am not saying these guys are playmakers. Talked about all 3 of them yesterday. They are excellent football players, but from an athletic and maneuverability perspective, Love and Price are simply better athletes, especially in open space. But when it comes to rushing the passer, the Irish offensive line, with help from the backfield and the likes of Eli Raritan and Ty Washington, must be ready to roll, because A&M is coming. They're going to bring it. They're going to want to get after you, especially what they saw on film from most of the Miami game. They're going to see opportunities to go strike, and they will take them. Now, the same can be said for the Irish on the other side of the ball. Bring consistent pressure up front and from the second level, and you'll have a great opportunity to create chaos of your own and throw a great talent, because he is, like A&M quarterback Marcel Reed, off his game. Causing disruption back there for Reed, who can throw it and use his legs, would also potentially give him less time to get the ball into the hands of Casey Concepcion on the outside. And if he's playing in the slot, that was an area Notre Dame had problems with, those quick, athletic tosses to the outside wide receivers like they did with Malachi Toney. We saw that in the Miami game. Texas A&M, Casey Concepcion's got that ability and speed like Toney does, and he can be a problem. He's also very good in the punt return game, so the special teams unit's got to be ready to roll there. But overall, win the battles up front, in the trenches, and you'll have a great opportunity to win the game. Joe Rudolph's group needs to be better. I think they will be. You've had 2 weeks to prepare. Chris Yass knows his defense needs to play with more urgency and aggression. I expect them to do just that. One way or another, we'll find out Saturday night. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great start to your weekend. Enjoy it Saturday night. And as always, go Irish.